Hi guys, today you're going to draw a fall landscape. We're going to start with a pencil, blank piece of paper, eraser. Eventually we'll need something to trace over our pencil lines. Then we'll need some coloring supplies. So let's get started. We're going to talk about foreground, middle ground, and background. Foreground line is the first line we're going to draw. It's at the bottom of our page. About 3 fingers from the bottom, it's going to go diagonally up at an incline. My line is not straight, it has a slight wave to it. Next is the middle ground line. It's going to start about 2 fingers up from the right side or the highest side of your foreground. Now, this is going to come across at another slight incline. Now, the third line is the farthest line away in our image. That is called the background line. I'm going to go across at a slight incline. Awesome. We should have 3 lines on our paper, creating an S or a Z if you started the other way. All right, our next step is to draw our trees. Now we're going to draw the closest tree to us. That's going to start on the foreground line. So the foreground line is the lowest line. Now my tree is going to go all the way up and off the page. So it's going to start and come up and out. Now I'm going to draw the other side of the trunk. Up and out. Almost looks like a wide Y, right? Next we're going to add some V's into our line. Okay, first foreground tree drawn. Next we're going to move on to the middle ground tree. It's going to start on the middle line. We're going to do the same theory, but we're going to go on the far left side for this. Kind of come up and spread my tree out. Now this tree is a little bit narrower than the first tree because as things go far away, they get smaller. Next, we're going to add 2 V's in our tree going off the page. Last, we're going to draw the farthest tree. This tree is in the background line. We're going to start on that third line. It's going to go up and off. Whoop! What do I do? Up and whoop! Where it's going to have that go behind. If this happens to you where you draw your trees, that last tree needs to go behind any of the trees in the front of your piece, okay? Now, erase any of these foreground or middle ground and background lines that have crossed over your trees. We do not want to trace over those, okay? Next, I'm going to trace my trees with something dark so they stand out. All right, now we're ready to color in our trees. Now, first we want to think about warm and cool colors. Our trees are going to be a warm brown, the sky is going to be sunset yellow, orange, and reds, and the grass is going to be a greenish yellow. So let's first start with our trees so we don't accidentally color them in when we're coloring our background. Now, I'm going to use oil pastels, but you guys can use any supplies you have at home. Okay, now as I'm coloring in my tree, I'm going to pick one side that's going to be my shadow side, the darker side, and one side that's going to be the lighter side. You know what, I might even make that a little bit lighter, this peach tone. Let's see what it looks like if we rub this together a little bit for my tree. Yeah, all right. So you have fun coloring in your trees. I want to see value and good craftsmanship. Oops. Really should have gotten a paper towel. Yay, it's actually recording now. Hey, that looks pretty good in the video. All right, next we're going to do our sunset sky. I'm going to use some warm yellow, orange, and red. I'm going to start with yellow on the bottom. I'm actually just going to go all the way up with my yellow. Getting a pushy. I'm doing like an oil pastel rub. And it's okay if it gets a little bit in your trees, because it just blends in nicely with the brown trees. Don't go down on that grass line. Just the sky is going to be the yellow. Now, I'm going to need to peel this oil pastel, because I'm going to have to break it in half. Because I don't want it that wide. Now I'm going to come in with the orange closer to the top of my trees, just coming down a little bit. I'm going to need to blend this in with my fingers. You can use paper towel over. When you're blending with a paper towel, put it around one of your fingers, hold it, and make sure to hold your artwork flat so it doesn't tear or wrinkle as much. All right, next we're going to do light green and dark green for the grass. Let's start with the light green, and I'm going to do it the same way I did the sky. I'm going to do light green on most of my grass. Actually, probably just the whole grass. I'm going to do the whole grass light green. Then I'm going to come back in with the dark green to create shadows and value. All right. So I have a nice light rubbing. Get a clean spot of my paper towel and go in and rub my oil pastel. Now if you're using crayons, just take your time. You could do crayon rubbing and add textures with your crayon. And we are going to add some value at the bottom half of each section, getting lighter as you go up. Blending is where you take one color and have it go smoothly in without a harsh line into the other color. You kind of blur, it's almost like blurring the edges. I might go back and add some more dark green, but you can see a nice subtle change there in our landscape for the grass. Woo! Now remember, it's a fall landscape, so there's no flowers in this one, okay? If there's anything you wanted to add, it would be leaves or anything like acorns or something. No flowers, okay? We're all set. Good job creating your fall landscape. Stay creative.